So good to see a lot of the family here in town. Glad to be here and honored to do this. So about Tito Mike, he joined the Navy in Subic Bay Naval Base in Philippines. How many of you know that? Not including the one in uniform. He joined in the early part of the Vietnam War. This is the time when Filipinos could not get some of the sensitive jobs. You know, air traffic control, submarine communications, they can't have those jobs at that time. This is post-World War II, early stages of Vietnam after the Korean War. And the US needed to supplement the fleet with sailors that they're not coming from mainland proper. So they recruited from Philippines. They were considered overseas contract workers at that time. So guess what? The Filipino sailors, they filled the service jobs. Foreman aid, disbursement, cooks, mail clerks. This became lovingly known as the Filipino Mafia. I want to recognize some of those folks in the audience. The Filipino Mafia. I got you. So this mafia run the ships and the bases. Imagine that. You can't operate without going through a Filipino sailor. They ran everything. You can't get a check, you can't get food, you can't eat unless there's a Filipino sailor providing that service. Tito Mike was a cook, best specialist. He was also a mailman in his later life. Someone showed up at the viewing yesterday in a USPS uniform. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. So as a true warrior, Tito Mike was a sailor with a lifetime of service to others. For me, Tito Mike was a surrogate father. I got my first car because of him. Remember that old car? Old Ford that don't work. Heater don't work during the winter. But I worked it, and he gave it to me. He got me as my first job. Remember that, the gun club? I was a pigeon boy. Anyway, I'm going to tell you about the old NRA stuff, but as a pigeon boy, I got to take home the pigeon, and then guess what? The Tito and others cooked it to serve the others. We just have to make sure that the pellets off that shotgun is all out, right? And then we cooked it in some of the Filipino dishes that he makes. I got to babysit my little bratty, sassy cousins. Leanne, Christina. Now I'm so proud of what you've become. I see so much of your dad. Tito's house has always been very welcoming. A lot of good food, a full bar. A lot of people would know that. The karaoke's always primed, ready to go. Typical Filipino family, right? Of course, with great company of all the extended Filipino mafia within the area. With always a warm bed to welcome whoever comes from out of town. That's the legacy of Tito. So I followed in his footsteps. I joined the Navy because of him. Trying to provide also a similar life of providing a lifetime of service for others. So from California, where I'm from, to Hawaii, to the Pacific Ocean, making my way back to Subic Bay, Philippines, where it's all started for Tito. You may not know, but there's a whole legacy of a Torres Abalos family military legacy. Our grandfather was part of the war in World War II, wrote the history of World War II, following the Japanese invasion through all that. I think that's where Tito Mike got a lot of that pride in serving others that we try to emulate today. So, I honor Tita Mike. Tita, I honor your family, Leanne, and your extended family. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Melchor, or Papa Torres, like I call him, is a winner. When I think of him, I think of a winner. He won the game of life, and we're all here gathered to celebrate him and give him a proper send-off. He came to the U.S. as a Navy sailor, and he served the country while helping his family here and abroad. He retired from the military in his early 40s, and a lot of folks in his same shoes get older alone, never having married. Not Papa Torres, though. He's a winner. After having all the fun in the world, traveling to many different countries as a sailor, he comes back to Pennsylvania and marries a beautiful woman, 20 years younger. And he got to have a second life as a father to Leanne and Christina. I didn't come around until 2005, but I heard many of the stories of the great road trips, the childhood memories that he gave Leanne and Tina. And in 1991, they bought that house on Magnolia Avenue that has been hosting parties, dinners, karaoke nights for the last 35 years. And everyone in this church is better off for that decision of him having bought that house and holding those parties, even if some people shouldn't have had access to that karaoke mic. We all know some good ones and bad ones, but the Filipinos, you guys are always really good at the karaoke. And let's not forget about those meals. We all know how great of a chef he was. And that wasn't all. 10 years ago, Papa Torres got to feel the experience of being a grandfather. He was able to enjoy the love, the warmth, and the energy that young grandkids give. That's winning. I find myself saying the word "and" a lot, and it's because he experienced life to the fullest. He made it to a long 85, and he was able to have his cake and eat it too, and won all along the way. Thank you.